So after the big clusterfuck during the Battlefield 4 reveal thing, it was revealed months ago. I even wrote "still waiting." It took like 3.5, 4 minutes for them to restart this, and that poor guy's out there like, "Oh, we're gonna restart. Okay, go to the back. We're still going. And he's just, you can tell he's like embarrassed as shit because he's out there in front of like a big ass crowd, and he just does not know what to do. But they do finally get it going, and they're on like a capsized ship that's like sinking. It's an aircraft carrier, and they're like fighting their way out, and he looks up and there's enemies shooting at his guys, and he looks over more, and there's like barrels holding up a jet that isn't like falling yet, so he shoots the barrels or whatever's there. The jet starts falling and takes out the bad guys and just keeps going down into the ocean, and it looks fucking fantastic. I cannot wait to get my hands on this game. Call of Duty has literally nothing on Battlefield right now. Nothing. So then, after that, Phil Spencer comes back out and shows some. This was where I kind of like trailed off a bit. They show some game, and I never did get the name of it. But then they showed a Black Tusk game, which that's the people who are making it. That's not the name of the game, that's the people that are making it. They're called Black Tusk. Maybe Black Tusk Studios or something, I didn't type it down, just a Black Tusk game. And then they show a trailer with some guy walking through the desert. He's got like, the hell is it called? He's got like a coat over him, but it's like a full-on thing. I can't even think of the name of it. And he's got his hood pulled down, and he's just walking along. There's like a sandstorm going on, and he stops, and then you just see this thing like come out of the ground, like up into the air, and it shows him, and he looks down at something in his hand, or he might have done that before the thing came out of the ground, and then something happens and his hood gets pushed off and it turns out to be Master Chief. So, yeah. So, a new Halo. People online are saying it was Halo 5. It didn't look like it said 5 to me. This IGN pulled the screen back to show like the view from like almost like the midway back from the crowd, while the name was on the screen, and I couldn't see anything but Halo on the screen, so I have no idea what it's called. It might have been 5, it might have been the Spartan Assault that they announced like a week ago, 2 weeks ago maybe. But they did announce that Spartan Assault would be running at 60 frames per second, which, you know, finally Halo's going to get 60 frames per second. Because the frame rates on the old one were just, or the old ones were just trash. That's why it looked so crappy. To me, anyway. I'm not a fan of Halo, but I have played all of them except for ODST. Oh, and 4. I didn't play 4. But I did play the first 3. And then I skipped ODST, and then I played Reach. The only one I ever owned was Halo 2, and that was when I first got my Xbox 360. That was one of the games that were backwards compatible. So anyway, Phil Spencer comes back out again and announces that the Xbox One is going to be launching November 2013. Didn't give a date, just November. And then he announces that it's going to be $499. $500, dude. Like, I remember when PS3 launched, and all the Xbox fanboys were like, holy shit, man. What a piece of shit. Who would pay $500, $600 for that? Like, that's not even worth it. No video game console is worth that much. Oh, now you're going to be paying $500 for your Xbox One. So then, the whole rest of the day, this had nothing to do with the conference, the whole rest of the day until later on that night, the internet was just a buzz. Like, we all know Sony's going to be, the same price or even more expensive. And there was a rumor that there was going to be 3 SKUs for the PlayStation 4. That it was going to range from $399 to $599. To which I was like, no, don't make it fucking $600 again. But we'll get to that later. They have one more exclusive title to show, and it turned out to be Respawn's game, Titanfall. And then Vince Zampella comes out and does a live demo. I'm not even going to try to pretend to be interested in this. And it's not just because it's an Xbox only game. It did not look like a good game to me. These are the guys that basically made Call of Duty what it is today. And now they're doing something that just... I even wrote here that it looks like Call of Duty meets Halo meets Avatar. Because there's like these big ass mechs, and it did not look pleasing. So that was it. The conference ended, and then the post show started up with IGN. And a little bit later, we got to EA, and the first thing I wrote was too much fucking dubstep. Why won't this shit die already? I'm tired of fucking dubstep already. Like, it needs to just die off. So then Peter Moore comes out onto the stage to a slight applause and starts talking about the games that are coming to next gen. And he calls off Madden, and then he calls off NFL. Like, he didn't know that was the exact same thing. Like, Madden, the game Madden is NFL. So they start teasing something, and then a trailer starts playing, and you hear that Battlefield noise. That, like, it's really just a fucked up version of the old Battlefield theme. But you start hearing that, and then all of a sudden it transforms into Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare. Which went from being a mobile game of zombies walking towards your garden and you planting stuff to get rid of them, to a third-person action game. It's coming first to Xbox One and then later to Xbox 360, to which I was like, yes! This shit's not going to be on PS4, which I still hope that it's not. They do a 4-player co-op demo, and it goes on way too long. I have no interest in this game at all. I even wrote down, is this seriously still going? That's how bored I was. I was just typing stuff. Oh my god, this is so damn boring. And then finally it ended, and I was like, finally. But yeah, it was a boring ass way to kick off their conference. Then the guy who announced Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare shit said he had one more announcement, and that was Peggle 2 is coming. He jumps up in the air, and he just runs off. And all you see is like the logo on the screen. And I was like, okay, alright. And then of course Titanfall from Respawn is up next. And I'm just like, again? But they just show a developer trailer, which is just like the developers talking about why this game is going to be the next big thing. And I'm just sitting here like, God, this conference already sucks. But then they start discussing Ignite and Frostbite 3 and how all of these games that they're talking about today use either Ignite or Frostbite 3. Then they say that DICE has a new game coming out that uses Frostbite 3, and you see just like snow everywhere. I think you just see this ship just go whoosh, and you hear an explosion, and all of a sudden you look in front of you and this fucking things coming down, and bam, and you start to hear the crowd just start to go wild, and then the logo comes up, Star Wars Battlefront, and then the crowd just escalates to just boom, they just blew the fuck up for that one, and I'm one of them. I'm excited. Star Wars Battlefront was awesome on PlayStation 2, and I'm glad that it's back, and using Frostbite 3, that's going to be awesome. So then they show a trailer for Need for Speed Rivals, which is another Need for Speed game. Another Need for Speed game. They do a live demo. Then they announce that the Need for Speed movie is coming. And then Jesse from Breaking Bad is the star. And he comes out. And he's talking about the movie and his experience in the movie. And then they show footage of the movie and behind the scenes, them doing the racing and stuff. And then you see the logo on the screen for Dragon Age Inquisition. And it shows some screenshots. Nothing really more than that is shown. But then they give a fall 2014 release date because they don't want to rush it. And then they say that here's the first trailer, and they show the trailer. It uses Frostbite 3. No gameplay, of course. It does show the dragon. But Morgan, I believe that's how you pronounce her name, from the first game, is returning. Her little reveal in the video got, some applause. People knew who she was. Not a lot of people knew who she was, but so then it was time to discuss sports, and they show a video doing the evolution of sports games from '89 to now, and then they talk about Ignite, and just like they did with the Xbox One reveal. Then they show a trailer, not really a trailer, it's a video for NBA Live 14. And then some guy comes out and he's reading poetry while the guy in the video is dribbling the ball. And wait, where was I? And then I believe that they said it's NBA Live 14 is only coming to next gen consoles. I think that's what they said. But their number one priority is not making a good game. It's dribbling with the new bounce tech. And then they said something about the stats of the players will be added into the game 1 hour after they occur in real life. So, if they can actually do that, that's pretty ambitious. Usually it's a daily update or a weekly update, or I've seen things that are monthly updates to sports games for different stats. So that they match their real life counterparts. So then they show an actual trailer. No gameplay. It was all CGI pre-rendered stuff again. So then they announced that Madden 25 is coming to next gen. They claim everything is actual gameplay footage. And to a point it is, but it's not how it looks when you're sitting here playing it on your TV. It's in-game footage, but they made a trailer out of it. So, yeah. They discussed the new features to the game, how, I forget what they call it, but the guy's running, and he stops, and then he just starts running in this direction, and they're like, this is all new, and stuff like that. It looks slightly better than Madden 13. The real improvements are the face and the look of the equipment, and the grass stains that occur during the game. But everything else, the grass, just the whole field, the crowd, all that, that all looks like Madden 13 still. Then they announced that Adrian Peterson is going to be on the cover for Xbox One and PS4. And they show the first trailer, which is just more in-engine footage, not actual gameplay. But I didn't expect them to show gameplay. Um, so then FIFA's up next. Yawn. And then Drake comes out. The singer Drake. God only knows why. So yeah, then that ends. I'm not going to sit here and discuss FIFA. I don't like FIFA. Whatever. If you like it, go look up the conference and watch it. Then all of a sudden, my speakers were just blowing up with like this crowd, this loud ass crowd, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? And the stage was all dark, and then all of a sudden you see Bruce Buffer come out, and then like the crowd sounds like pick up more, and I'm like, that's a fake fucking crowd sound. There's nothing going on. So obviously UFC was up next. They have Dana White, John Bones Jones, and Ben Henderson come out. They discuss new features like MMAI, which is really a stupid name to call it. It launches spring of next year, 2014. They show a trailer, but it's just more of like they showed at the Xbox reveal. None of it is gameplay. I know they're probably fooling a bunch of people thinking that it is, but it's very much pre-rendered CGI. So then the big daddy comes out. DICE comes back out. Well, they didn't come out the first time, but they just had a trailer for Star Wars, but they come out again. I just said again. Battlefield 4, of course, is next. They announced 64 players online. Probably just for PC. They'll probably up it for the consoles better than it was with Battlefield 3. And maybe Xbox One and PS4 can hold 64 players. But I doubt the current gen will. They announced that Commander mode is coming back, but we all knew that already. Or if you paid attention to the news the past few months, you knew that. It can be played on the tablet. Of course, Battlelog is integrated. Battlelog was a big thing when Battlefield 3 came out. They show a map called Siege of Shanghai, and they demo it with 64 live players on stage, and then one commander. The commander guy is over on the stage. Actually, everybody else is like behind the people from DICE, and it looks fucking amazing. You can check it out on Battlefield.com. They're live streaming all week from people that. What is that noise? It's such a weird ass noise. I don't know. But yeah, they're on Battlefield.com. They're live streaming all week. I assume it's from people that are going to their booth and playing the game. But they're running around. It's got like 5-player squads, and they run underground. And when they come up above ground, there's a fucking tank waiting for them. And they're like, "Oh shit, get back!" So they run back underground. One of the guys noticed a pillar going up to the street level. So he's like, "Take out that pillar." The commander guy is like, "Take out that pillar." So one of the guys shoots like a rocket or something at it. The pillar gets taken out, and the fucking road just collapses in, like destroying the tank. I was like, "Holy shit!" Like the whole fucking map is just like insane, man. So that was point B. They were playing Conquest. That was point B. Point C was on the top of a fucking skyscraper. I'm not kidding. This skyscraper is like a fucking skyscraper. Okay, so he's like, "We gotta get to C, man. C's on top of the skyscraper." So the maps are fucking literally huge. They run down, and 2 guys get into a boat, and they start going off, but then the boat's about to get destroyed, so he's like, get out. So all of a sudden you see just 2 fucking like military jet skis take off from like the back of the boat as it like explodes. So I was like, that's fucking badass as well. They get to the fucking skyscraper, and they take the elevator up. which was just weird watching all these guys in an elevator and you just pushing the button. They start walking over, and all of a sudden this chopper just comes up and starts blowing the shit out of the skyscraper and trying to shoot him. So they get the helicopter dealt with. The guy walks over, the main guy that they're watching walks over and looks down from the floor they're on, which they're fucking high as shit up. And he's looking down, and there's tanks like just pelting the fucking skyscraper, and they're like, "Do you feel that rumbling?" And it was the tanks shooting the shit out of it. So the guy on the tablet, there's a guy playing on the tablet, and he launches an artillery strike, or a missile, I guess you would call it. And the guy just looks up, and he's like, "You see it?" He's like, "Yeah." And you just see this missile off in the distance just like coming, and all of a sudden just boom, takes him out. So they run up to the roof, and there's like a firefight going on up there. But all of a sudden, you just see everybody just leap off the skyscraper. They're like, "Get off! The building's unstable. Just bail!" So they all leap off, and you just see parachutes all over. And the guy that you're watching is like, I don't know if he like forgot to pull out his parachute, but he's like falling like fast as hell. And then all of a sudden, he just pulls it out like right at the last second. And he looks over, and they're like, "It's coming down!" And he looks up, dude. And I'm not kidding, the fucking skyscraper just fucking comes down and just demolishes. And I was just like, wow, dude. Battlefield 4 just won. Like, there's no competing with that if you're fucking Call of Duty. Nothing that Call of Duty can do can top that. So DICE is getting ready to leave, but the two guys from DICE that are there stick around. They're like, before we go, we have one more game that people have been asking years for, and they're finally going to deliver. And this video shows, and it's like a white video, and all of a sudden you just like, if I'm not mistaken, you walk into a room and there's just like guys, and all of a sudden you just run over and start punching the guys and free running around. It turned out to be Mirror's Edge. But it didn't say Mirror's Edge 2. It just said Mirror's Edge, so I don't know if it's like a reboot or not. Maybe they're like rebooting the first game, but making it for like next gen, and then just going from there with like sequels. But I liked it. At the end it said coming ... when it's ready. So they're not rushing it at all, which is nice. Except for the people who have been asking for it for years. I didn't even think Mirror's Edge was that old. So at the end of this one, I'm going to go ahead and start off on Ubisoft. That was the end of the EA conference. So Ubisoft starts, and Jerry Cantrell from Alice in Chains comes out with his guitar and just starts rocking out to Man in a Box. Just right there on stage. And he ends that. He's like, another guy brings him over another guitar, and he's like, "Okay, cool." Puts that one on, plugs it up. He starts rocking out again. No, he didn't. Before he started rocking out, he was like, "I don't like playing to backtracks." So he's like, "Let's get a band going." So he starts playing this thing on the screen. He's playing it with like a controller or a tablet or something. And he changes it to drummer, bassist, guitar, and synth. And then he starts rocking out again to another song. And the drummer starts over here on the screen, just on the screen, no actual drummer. Then the guitarist, bassist, and the synth thing. And it turns out to be Rocksmith 2014 edition. So, you know. Then Aisha Tyler comes out again, which I'm glad they brought her back. She was one of the better parts of last year's conference. I'm glad they left fucking Tobuscus' ass at home. She's wearing a hashtag Girlwood shirt, which turned out to be a joke from last year's conference. And she talks about one of the long-running franchises that are finally coming back, and it turned out to be Splinter Cell Blacklist, which is coming out in August. They show a video for it, which is like a montage of just a whole bunch of stuff. I really wish they would have done a live demo for it. And the video was kind of long, but IGN kept like pulling the camera back, and then it would show the screen full screen. Then they pull the camera back, show the screen full screen. I was like, leave it on the fucking video. Then they show on the video that Spies vs. Mercs is coming back, and no demo. The game's coming out in August. That's 2 months away, and there's no live demo. Just, okay, it's coming out. Here's the video. No gameplay, nothing. So, then they talk about Rayman Legends. Again, no gameplay. Just a video. September 3rd release date, which, I mean, this game was supposed to come out a while back for the Wii U, but they, like, pushed it back to bring it out for all the consoles. Now they show another trailer. It says there's over 120 levels. So I was just like, okay, whatever. Then they show a trailer for a game called The Mighty Quest for Epic Loot. Looks kind of like Diablo 3, but like for, younger audiences. It's currently in closed beta, but it's free on their site, so you can go to their site and get into the beta. They show a video for it, but it's just a comedy trailer. I don't know why I wrote that. I can't even remember the fucking trailer. Then they bring out South Park: The Stick of Truth. Then they show a trailer for it, which looks amazing. Looks just like the cartoon, which is what we all wanted. And it says that that's coming holiday 2013. But then Cartman says, or some holiday season. Just a little comedy thing. And then Aisha comes out and says, scroll too far. It says it's time for next gen. Some funky ass noises coming from outside. I got just under 2. So she comes out and says it's time for next gen. The Ubisoft CEO comes out, Yves Guillemot. And he announces a game coming from Ivory Tower and Reflection, which is called The Crew, which they show a trailer for, and it's a driving game, and it uses real cars. It's all pre-rendered stuff, but it looks good because it's all pre-rendered. You form like crews online, like driving crews, and it's coming early 2014. Then they bring out the creative director, to which I was like, why not just do that before? Why did you have him announce the game and then bring out the guy? He announces that the entire game is online but can be played solo. And the entire game can also be played in co-op. Then they do a live demo with 4 players, and the actual graphics are like really, really good. The style of racing is kind of like Need for Speed, almost like a mix between Need for Speed and Midnight Club. And the world is fucking huge, man. It spans like different states. Like one player is in New York, and then they shift to a player that's in South Dakota.